Is all about gunfights at the points of entry to a map. What do Twisted Minds love doing? They love fighting, they love scrapping.
You can get into it, you have a better chance of laying your foundation for a successful offensive round. But it's much easier to say you're going to get a little bit of a bite. They'll send out that logic bomb, it will rain out and gives away key information. But I believe one of the players boosted up on the box is going to be a problem, but Naku's going to find the opening pick. Hasham's gone, and that Omai is gone. That's going to be access in Cigar Lounge found, but Guards finds that immediate trade on the Mardo. There's going to be a massive swing into Cocktail. Skies goes huge, finding himself too. He looks for a third inside a freezer, is good for it, and it will be a fourth if he can find that final pick. But Naku
over on that section map, we know there's a player over by Cocktail's side with it, and I love the way Gen.G are focusing these attacks.
Blinded out by the fear, Mordo does find the opening. Jalad will be slain from it. Pressure and freezer. Now, this is going to be a difficult one. Blackbeard, not that ideal in close quarter brawls, but also finds a Corey, the first one of today. And that's going to be a pick that's going to completely unravel things. A flurry of kills goes out, and the advantage swings for Twisted Mind. But not for long as Mordo gets one back with the hands of his DMR. The case is cold, but and
they're going to go for the plant now. Diffuser almost stuck as the defenders find themselves really on the back foot. They retake vertical control, but it's a little too late here, Whippet. Suddenly things looking really good as P9 is able to find another kill, leaving it all down the Marteau. He gets one versus one, triple on the round for him. The defender walking his way through that DMR, hits very, very hard. Hasham in the 1v1 manages to get across. That'll force him back into cover, and he gets the down, and Hasham should be able to win this round, and he does. Whippet, big round back for Twisted Minds.
Oh, a very close one indeed. Twisted Minds are going to be very lucky. This is a much more aggressive, much more kind of higher tempo speed from Gen.G than what we saw yesterday. Hasham on that Scopos does find Mardo, slays him, and that's going to be your Blitz gone. That massive execution utility is taken away at P9 will only make the problem worse as Deadshot next to go. You've lost your key utility, you have something left to work with on your Capitao. Actually, nothing left to work on with Capitao. It's down to how you can position and win your fights. As Trix gets one more, Skies falls, 50 seconds, 4v2. Gen.G in deep water here.
Yeah, Asa will get one, but he's traded back instantly by Jalad, and it's a 3v1 now. Down to Neko. He's got no logic bombs, one stun grenade to work with, and they know exactly where he is. The accuser is cold. He'll pick that one up, but with 30 seconds, he doesn't really have very much space to go. You look at the silhouettes of Twisted Minds Whippet. They're playing the trade. They're in a perfect position where if one player's in a gunfight, the other one's going to make the swing, and they should win the round. This is going to be a 2-1 lead for Twisted Minds.
Yeah, this thing is all but done and dusted at this point, and so they begin to look Blitz. You lose that massive benefit of massive execution utility, and from there you're trying to rework how you go into round.
30 seconds to go. Gen.G need to make something happen. They're stalling out. This is the one problem that they've had historically. They can't keep up the tempo they had in the first round. The first kill will come in though. Marteau will take down Trix. That enables the run, and he gets the second on the round. It's a double now as Twisted Minds get caught cold. 2v4. But we've seen Gen.G in position like this. Hasham will find one. Traded back by Neko, and it's all down to Guards below. No C4. He's got the yellow pink. He's got the angle, but no, he's a little bit too far to the right. The case will go down, but he puts himself in a 1v2. 35 seconds or less to get the kills and get on the case with it. I think Gen.G are going to go back to back on top floor.
I 100% agree with you here, Gibson. There's a very difficult one to get back in, but Guards, a player you never want to count out. The death mark, though, might just be the spelling of his own demise. He will have a rough information where Deimos lies, but I don't feel he's got much opportunity here. He'll try and stick it. Well, pros don't fake, but unfortunately, all players still standing, minute 30, and Gen.G, they're struggling to find their entryway. They're now realizing that they can't go for a direct horizontal play, because if you walk in, Hasham will pick you up just like that. Mardo's gone. That's your Twitch taken away. Candelas go out, but not for long. Trick's gonna get one more, finds it. Jalad pops up from Reddit, gets Deadshot, and in the blink of an eye, it's a 5 versus 2. Twisted Minds have absolutely slain Gen.G, leaving them wounded here in Cafe. And while the shotgun mounted up on red stairs can't find success, Skies does find P9. Perhaps the lifeline, blinded by fear and aggression from Jalad, not finding that pick yet, opting for the patient route.
Yeah, and now you've got Skies and Asa in a horrible position, but if any team knows that you can win a 2 versus 4, it is them. They're in a really, really tough spot, though. There is going to be a peak. Guards will get one, but it's all down to Skies now. Diffuser in hand. 6 kills on the board so far. Full information on him as well, as the default cam was still up in the middle of that corridor. And there's a peek across, but he managed to get one. That's a triple on the round. But it is going to have to be an ace clutch here for Skies. Gets the information on Hisham as well. Is going to try to catch the cutoff. We know that these players love to get aggressive on the other side. And Hisham's going to run directly at the nade, charging it like you're supposed to do. But 10 seconds to go. The fake plant. Is he going to fake it, or is he going to be a pro? He fakes it. Whip it. It's going to be a round win.
He's got his teammate covering him from winning as well. Red Stairs is now no man's land, and NAQ knows it. He has to take one of these fights, but patience is a virtue, and it will be held by P9. With 20 seconds, Guards finds Mardo, and it will be acts of desperation, like Prone dropping a hatch that needed to happen from Gen.G. Jalad finds Asa, leaving it all down the dead shot. With 9 seconds.
Twisted Minds win when you've skipped so many steps. There's only game plan, but it's so easy to revert the type, and that's what Gen.G have done here. The view in the game, these next few rounds are going to be exciting. Sends wall off, Blitz is going to walk on through, but a good C4 is going to get the down. Asa swings across and will find one of his own. So 2 players essentially out of action, make it 3. It is all down to Jalad and P9. Now P9 will hit a beautiful shot, but as you can see, you're not inside the...
It's, you know, kind of a death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's these small misplays, these small mistimings that can hurt a team. But Jalad, though, with his DMR, does hurt Mardo. With the SMG-12, hurts Deadshot. Fate of this round.
Oh, whip it. Both players are the middle seat on a Ryanair flight away from falling inside this round. Jalad will find one, though. It's all down to Nako. The Echo. No drones left to work with. Remember, no ACOG anymore. It's been that way for a while now. But the 2 attackers with the advantage, but the HP is a problem. No impacts left either for the defenders, so Nako's got to do this the old-fashioned way.
Of course, it's not over yet. We can sit here and write their eulogy and say it's done and dusted, but it's only round 8. And we have seen crazier things happen inside of Europe. But while Jalad tries to make it a very clean job, as Skies gets shut down. Now Mardo might be able to rat himself a kill here. Does Jalad check it? Well, they've got no idea.
Yeah, he's on the other side of the pillar. They don't want to step in just yet. The goal will now step across. Does a lot of damage. Gets the dock on the Nako as he is going to go down. And that leaves just 2 defenders left standing. But he's in that spot. Marto will find one. He's 7 and 7 now. Make it 8. He gets another on the round. And it's a 3 versus 1. He makes it a triple. But again, it's going to need another ace from Marto if he wants to win the round. Trapped inside the corner. If you're the defender, or if you're an attacker, sorry, you don't have the case. So you got to play for the kill. It's a quad for Marto. One more left to find. 5 seconds. Run around high. You don't even need the kill. He steps up once more. Goes in the corner.
No!
Double sweep. He wins it. It's an ace for Marto.
Mardo, a series of unfortunate events to find the ace clutch, but they have the information, the yellow pings are good, and Gen.G, this is a very difficult position. You need to find these rotations and be careful of every angle. A deep one held, the drop-off is there, and P9 finds the pick. Mardo, well, continues his trend of dying in almost every round. Is he going to get slain early here? We wave goodbye to a mute, we lose a nitro cell. Massive utility lost, but Skies finds a trade. Huge opening with that TCSG, shuts down P9, and now Gen.G can begin to make an exit. Hisham finds...
There is one red silhouette just off in the distance, off to the left. But with 15 seconds to go, Jalad is going to find a kill. It's a 4v2. Gar still has the case. And as long as you keep this player on white busy and you let him cross, this could be key, but Hisham is holding it. 4v1. Nako goes big. It's a double on the round, but he's still going to get needed a lot more if he's going to win it out. Dips back inside of Laundry now. Monty's going to step up, getting a bit more impressive. He's got no rotate whip, but he's trapped. Monty's going to hold him at the door. This is really good from Twisted Minds, and Lightning is not going to strike twice. He will open it up, give himself an option whip, but I don't see any real way for Nako to win this round.
Now, there's no way into this one. He might need a miracle and a little bit more, but I don't think the cards will fall for him this time around, and it will be a slow and a whimper of an end to this conclusion. He might find one for his own efforts. Hisham does get picked off from it, but with 5 seconds left to go, it's all but over, and a dance in the
It should be 7-2. Like, you think about that last round, that huge ace by Marto. Twisted Minds should have this map wrapped up. But this is to stop the hatch drop. If they drop into freezer, you throw the smoke if you don't get the angle with the shotgun. But Hasham, he's going to use the pixel. Dead shot falls for the 10th time in 10 rounds. He has not had an impact on this game whatsoever, and that's exactly what Twisted Minds needed. Now one of those pieces has fallen. Now they just wait, like, you forced the pick.
If they can shut him down, maybe there's a way back in for Gen.G. Maybe there's a hope. Maybe there's a lifeline. Skies gets harassed from that. Oh, Trick's gonna get one more. Nako's gonna fall. And, well, in a 5 versus 2, 60 seconds, it's gonna be an actual cell Hail Mary. Doesn't connect to anything, and while charging in will be Jalad. He should be able to find this pick with his power. It does show, and that's going to leave it all down the skies. It doesn't last long. Jalad finds it. It's going to be a flawless round. It's going to be the opening map of this series. Falls for Twisted Minds. The man at tier 2 side claims a tier 1 EML. Instead, a simple best of 1 for Gen.G now. Lose, and it's done and dusted. You don't even want to think for Deadshot to start shooting again.
Well, it would help, right? Like, this is the player that, after Liquifact, those engagements.
And it's going to be out by Raptors. We talked about these key positions, and the big thing here is Guards has utility to clear this away, but doesn't even need it. Perfect in his positioning.
Yeah, that's what I said, though, about Twisted Minds. They weren't afraid to take on gunfights that normally players would want to avoid, and Clash is going to step on up the smoke, trying to protect the Clash from the swing to give her a essentially fair 1v1, and it worked. Clash able to force the player off of Rafters and stall back the push for just a little while. But once more, we're seeing pressure. Nako walked into sight and falls. Or sorry, P9 walked into sight and falls to the hands of Nako, and that's the case cold as well. So I think Twisted Minds got a little bit ahead of themselves there, but Jalad will give them the numbers once more.
Massive pick from Jalad. Mardo's going to fall from it. Skies needs to play this very carefully. And it's going to be a great charge in from that. The shotgun of Skies gets one. Guards gets caught out from it. And, well, they're going to swap positions here. He makes that deep rotation in the connector. The Clash finds themselves under tremendous pressure. But does Skies make a rotate back to Pillar? He does get caught out in the midst of it. Trix gets him shut down. And the Clash finds himself in a horrible position. Asa needs to hope that magazine runs dry soon, as Nako needs to save his teammate. Darting, dashing, charging in. The death marks denied by that mute jammer, but I have a feeling, Gibson, this is going to be an act of desperation. Finally shuts down that Clash, but with triple zero dawning, patience might just be the virtue, but unfortunately he's stuck behind Pillar. No way he can deny this plant, surely.
Now the player is behind that pillar inside a stock. Now gives away the position. Flash grenade is going to get thrown, but it will flash the bandit as well, as he will now walk on up. There's the flash peeks around the corner. Trixt will get the kill. With the breach being open, you have to extend a little bit more as Gen.G, and Nako is going for a big retake, and he gets a kill to make it a 4v4.
Massive pick, and even better read. Finds a second one. Sean walks straight into the crosshairs, and he put it perfectly. With that breach opened up, everyone from Gen.G's been forced to try and retake that top control with fear of sight being accessed. Jalad wanders in and gets himself caught out. Done his best impression of Jay from a few years ago, and well, with 35 seconds, only 2 members of Twisted Minds still survive. Make it 1 as Mardo shuts down Guards. Leave it all down the P9 with that Deimos, and he has, well, no death marks to work with in very limited time, so he'll likely drop this hatch and not last too much longer. But Mardo overextends, finds himself in the grave, hopefully not opening up an opportunity for a clutch here.
Shouldn't. Anything could happen in the wild and wacky world of qualifiers of Siege, but I think that one player will peak, keep on utility, and give him the opportunity to fall back, or at least hold the position for a little bit longer. Goes prone, and Marto, he took the bait, and Hasham will get the opening kill once more. Lion will fell the Tubarao, and that's not a player you want to have fall early on in the game. Skies, though, pulls one.
Shots falling back, and he's going to use those keeper barricades in a more defensive position as Mardo gone. Great gas canister goes out as Skies finds one more pick on the P9, and Hasham will sit and wait. The DMR is going to threaten this corner, and this is where you almost don't fancy the shotgun's odds. He makes a deep rotation, throws out that toxic canister, and can't confirm that pick as he vaults on away, but they just walk in this site below the head holes, and Trick's going to be able to find one. He needs to find himself a second. Skies
position here, back on the door, leaving it all down to Trix to play for the cover. Case now is going to go down to
Perfect.
He got it down, but it's all down to Trix in a 1 versus 3. Clash is still up. He's going to go for an aggressive play, and Nako gets the kill. And Gen.G are going to be able to win a second round on defense to take the lead for only the second time in the entire series with, but the last time that they held
Smoke. Both the smoke and the clash went charging down in towards the plant sound, using that shield in front of the clear that he ever would have wanted. He survives for now, and they'll sit on this cutoff, they'll wait, they'll hold. And he might find himself getting a freebie. Deadshot gets aggressive and pressure, and they're chasing Ghost right now all across the map. They've got some very solid positional control on top rafters with those keeper. Barricaded Skies! Perfect timing, swings out wide and finds a Shum. Great pick and finds the eventual but delayed trade of his teammate fallen earlier. A massive flurry as Asa's going to get one with the C4. Mardo finds P9. Neku down in the midst of that chaos, leaving us down to 2 players for Twisted Minds. Both guards and Trixel standing. And that will be Trix finding one more. Asa falls. 30 seconds. This is winnable from the side of Twisted Minds. But Skies might just settle this down. Guards, you get to find him. I think this is perfect. And this is actually kind of leaning into what I mentioned. Gen.G are making this slow. They get the opening pick. Deadshot finds out what to see. For a second one from Skies! Absolutely perfect. The bullets can't connect it. So much, but that single lonesome phone can get hacked and flip them in the favor. Jalad finds one. Nako falls. Brings us back to level playing field. 3 versus 3, Gibson. 30 seconds. Can Gen.G hold on?
Yeah, well, you can see the ping. They're worried about the foothold, so the smoke grenade will be thrown. That'll give them access to walk in. Here's the drop into Animus now as well, so they're where they need to be. Asa, though, with a Maestro will find one and an opportunity. Lost it. Actually, Skies is going to go down, but not out. A hatch drop, but Deadshot holds his own. It's a double for him, leaving it all down to Jalad, but he's won situations like this before. It's a 1 versus 2. He's going to see the down player. Manages to get that one. It's all down to Asa now. The Maestro. Hide. Jalad not use them instantly back to back. So there's the first one. There's the single given. Marteau allowed to play an electrical because that window is closed. You haven't opened it. You allow him to play there. The C4 from Asa will get one, but Trix will trade it back. 4 versus 4 up at 35 seconds to go. The
player is lurking to his left. We'll see that laser sight. The wounded Blackbeard needs to make this vault in, but Guards has had a difficult game so far. The player behind the desk has been detected. His good cover gets shredded, so it can be Trix finding one more in the Mardo. 6 seconds. 000 is dawning. Cover needs to be perfect. Trix find himself 3, but Gen.G find a lifeline. The case goes down, and it's going to be a simple 2v2 brawl, make it a 2 versus 1. Trix cannot stand the test of time, and that's going to be a huge wipeout and a 4-2 advantage for Gen.G.
Twice Twisted Minds, 1 Minds court. Can they match what Gen.G did and force overtime, or can Gen.G force a third in the last matchup? Or the last map?
Attack has been a difficult factor for Gen.G. Pops up happy days.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Gen.G's here, and unfortunately, Deadshot. See every case go down, but nonetheless, it will be advantage for player count for Twisted Minds. 4 versus 5 in their favor. The defense needs to hold on. An aggressive push. That's going to be huge. Asa and Skies finding one apiece, leaving Twisted Minds a little bit reeling from that, and control of Pillar might be garnered here. Now, all this comes down to holding on to IT, holding on the rafters, cutting this site in half. Hasham finds one. Mardo falls. You now lose those logic bombs. Those calls from Dokubi not a factor in this round. And the fire darts go out. And this might be huge. A cut-off rotations. Asa finds himself a second, and Twisted Minds running out of room, running out of space, and maybe running out of options to hold on here. But that yokai drone might be the perfect plan B.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of time to go with. There's still 15 seconds that you got to get value out of those yokai drones. The first one will go up and it'll go off. 13 seconds now, forcing another attempt at the plant. But Asa being held from outside the IT breach. Skies gets the double on the round. The case goes down and it's all down to Trix. 1 player on pillar, 1 player in electrical, 1 player in connector. Dare I say, this should be unwinnable for the defensive side. Now, Trix could pull off a big play. You could keep a barrier off the pillar and then go for the swinger. He's actually going the other way around. Kiba off electrical, but that gives him a little bit of time, but I'm pretty happy. Wait, what? The case is going down.
Okay, that's good. That is very good for the side of Twisted Minds, but Gen.G saw the opportunity to walk on in, and while Jalad didn't even see it, he was completely unaware of that case going down, and Well, Gen.G, they gambled everything, and all the dealers pulled a 9-card 21 on them. There's no way back from this one unless you find a miracle. Deadshot and Sky still standing. Two players who've been the polar opposite, and it leaves it all down to Deadshot. A quiet start on Cafe has warmed up to a simmering boil here on Nighthaven, but can he find his way to a full tempo retake? Alone against 4. Down below, you've got a free roaming Jalad who's found himself all the way in meeting room, who collects a freebie. Nako falls on that, and I've got a bad feeling the drone game just wasn't good enough from them, allowing the Mirror of Jalad to potentially get aggressive on this peak. He's got Hisham to help cover it, so he can fall off and play for more pressing matters as he looks to get 2-3 in the round. Jalad, are you kidding me? And that's gonna be the final dagger in the back for Gen.G here in round 9. Deadshot alone gets one.
Okay. It's gone for them. I think there's a lot of mistakes, a lot of blank spots. Like, I know that Deadshot, the round technically isn't over yet, but it's just a matter of one more round. They guarantee at least 1, maybe 2 match points. And they guarantee overtime at a minute. You know, that secondary, tertiary utility. There's the Candela's tossed on in. You're going to blind the player with a shotgun. Hisham will fall as the Ying shotgun rings out true. Deadshot.
However, the case is going down. Asa has it in his hand, but no! Jalad finds himself a second, the most importantly, he denies that case. It will be traded off, though, as Trix finds, or Deadshot finds.
Still trying to find a perfect plant spot inside of stock. Cover being held by Deadshot as the Candelas will be thrown once more. Jalad, though, will get Nako, the verticality causing a problem. P9 finds a kill, and we have got all 12 rounds written on the roam. They're making it really hard for Gen.G, and you got to make sure your flanks are watched, because look where some of those pay the fed. Oh my god, Deadshot.
That is per standing, but Gen.G in the best position we've seen them in for a while.
Yeah, they've got themselves the ability now to walk down, and Deadshot, who really has woken up over the course of the last few rounds, being held. Can they even get a trade? The cam has been dealt with. The swing across, but Deadshot with another, and the case is going to go down. They are going to... Oh no, it's dropped. Marteau is going to get felled, and now you're going to see Trix get one as well. It's a 3v2. Twisted Minds making this one very hard. Trix gets that kill confirmed, and it's Deadshot, Nako, and Skies that need to put in the work. You can see that Trix whip it. How did he get his... The hatch was open and the breach was open, but he was still allowed to play inside Animus.
Gen.G have got a round that might slip between their fingertips here. Deadshot has been exceptional so far, skyrocketing to 10 and 8, finding 3 kills in this matchup. Can he find even more to lock out this round to find match point for the side of his team? He steps up to the plate, knocking on the door, looking, trying to get that case in hand, even clears a canister, but oh no! The vert is open, and with only 5 seconds, Gen.G might crumble under the weight of expectation. The cover needs to be perfect, and it's not! Out of that precious time. 35 seconds. With smoke canisters left to work with and a clash of there down. I think they're forced to commit deep here.
Yes, guys, though, we'll get a kill, making it a 5v4, and this is the trigger to push in towards the Clash. Clash is falling back now. You see some pressure on Rafters as well. 20 seconds to go, but Trix will get one. Instantly traded back by Nako as Skies opens the door. Now they're going to get the plant down. They've got a yellow ping. They're not going to stop it. The case is going to go down, and this time, Gen.G will not be foiled. Jalad, though, will pull one back, leaving it all down to Hisham. Gen.G on the brink of forcing overtime. The Blitz pushing towards Aqua, the perfect player to garner that information, giving Hisham absolutely nothing to work with. Do not peek. Do not do anything silly if you're Gen.G, because a 1 versus 2 is a lot different than a 1v3. 13 seconds left. The flash grenade goes off to Hisham. Peeks the right way, but from P9 might just be the monster they do not want to wake. The skeleton key will get heard. The red ping is there, and they wake the beast. He swings out wide, shuts down Skies, and I have a feeling, Gibson, that it might just be a 7-6 advantage. I won't say the line just yet, but 40 seconds and a 5v2. Job might be done here for Twisted Minds. He might not say the line, but he's already, I think, put the name onto the headstone. To be honest, this round ain't looking good for Gen.G. Nako will be the next to fall as Asa will trade one back instantly. Jalad is still up 18 and 8. Tricked 12 and 9. Step into the fire through the flames, but you're stuck inside of Animus. You managed to find the knock on to Tricks, but you've still so much work to do. 7 seconds. You're not going to get enough time to run around the door. Twisted Minds. Gen.G now. Deadshot will take a lot of damage as he elects to fall back. 10 and 11 now for the Swiss Star. Almost got the opportunity for the pick through the window, but pressure's on the other side. P9 with a double.
All he needs is a call. All he needs is one opportunity. The C4 goes out. Not enough damage to find a down or a kill. The case is still active and held, but they're all dropped inside of Animus. A difficult fight. There's going to be a huge flurry here. 4 versus 2 with only 15 seconds remaining. Can Naku, can Mardo hold the line? Final 10 seconds. Jalad has the case. It's all down to Mardo. P9 on the cusp of an ace. 000 calling. And there's no way out. P9 with an ace to send Gen.G home. Twisted Minds survive their journey in our LCQ.
Yeah, that's a goodbye to Gen.G.